All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to this explainer on the University of Pretoria's official 2026 SRC Elections Supporter Manual. Today we're going to unpack something huge, how your everyday actions, yes, yours, can literally make or break a political campaign.
So here's our game plan. We're going to quickly cover the ultimate campaign risk, define what actually makes you a supporter, run through the crucial do's and don'ts, touch on social media, figure out how to handle rule breakers, and wrap up with the final consequences.
All right, starting right off with Section 1, the ultimate campaign risk. You've probably seen this official IEC branding floating around, signaling the kickoff of citizen mode, but here's what's actually wild about this manual. It's not just a rulebook for the candidates trying to get elected, it is explicitly a compliance guide for you, the student. It basically takes all these dense election rules and turns them into a highly practical checklist for how you behave.
And that brings us to the golden rule, which is absolutely crucial. Candidates can and totally will be held responsible for the screw-ups of their supporters, their campaign teams, and their affiliated societies. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would a candidate risk their entire campaign on your actions? Well, it's pretty simple. Candidates inherently benefit from the massive grassroots energy and momentum you generate for them. So the IEC framework basically says, hey, if you reap the rewards of this support, you've got to bear the absolute compliance burden of their conduct. You are literally an extension of the candidate. Moving right along to Section 2. Are you actually a supporter? You might think you need some fancy formal title, a customized badge, or your name on a campaign manager's spreadsheet to actually be considered a supporter. But let's look at how the IEC really defines it, whether formal or informal. This list is a real eye-opener. Sure, it covers the obvious stuff like traditional campaigning and handling posters, but look closer. It also includes simply forwarding a promotional WhatsApp message or just showing up to an election activity. I mean, simply hitting send on your phone or standing in a crowd legally ties your behavior to the candidate's campaign risk. The ripple effect here is huge. Okay, let's jump straight into Section 3, the campaign do's and don'ts. The contrast we're looking at here is stark, and it honestly all boils down to election integrity. On one hand, absolutely, go out there, discuss the candidate's approved manifesto, and persuade voters freely. That's the whole point. But you cross a major legal line if you offer any kind of bribe. We're talking money, food, even airtime. Or if you try to literally monitor someone voting. Demanding a screenshot as proof of a vote, absolutely forbidden. Your candidate definitely wants votes, but they simply cannot afford votes gained through coercion.
Now, what about out there on the physical campus? Well, you have to strictly obey these exact placement limits and poster sizes. Why? Because slapping a poster on the wrong wall directly threatens your candidate. You can only use IEC-issued posters, and they can't be bigger than A3. It's one poster per candidate on a specific pole or notice board, and you absolutely cannot put them on the ring road, on traffic signs, or along campus perimeters. Oh, and if you were thinking about huge flashy flags, banners, or handing out freebies, completely prohibited. Don't even try it.
And you're going to want to remember this number, 48, because before any of that campaign material can even see the light of day, an electronic or hard copy sample has to be submitted to the IEC and the Director of Student Affairs for approval at least 48 hours in advance. So, no, you can't just print up some rogue flyers in your dorm room and start handing them out.
And guess what? The clock keeps ticking even after the voting stops. 24 hours. That is the exact, strict window you have to completely take down every single piece of your candidate's election material once the voting period ends. Leaving a single poster up on day 2? Yep, that's an automatic compliance breach.
Let's pivot to Section 4. Social media is campaigning.
The manual doesn't pull any punches here. Social media is campaigning. Sharing an unapproved meme, editing a graphic to make an opponent look bad, or repeating defamatory rumors online carries the exact same legal weight as screaming it through a megaphone on campus. Your digital footprint is a massive compliance risk. Even if you didn't create the fake news yourself, just forwarding it on WhatsApp, TikTok, or Instagram makes you, and by extension your candidate, totally liable for it.
Which leads us to Section 5, handling a transgression. What happens when things go wrong? Listen, if you see someone breaking these rules, the absolute worst thing you can do is go full vigilante. Do not investigate it yourself, don't retaliate, and definitely don't aggressively confront the other team. That just creates more liability and drags your candidate right into the mud. Instead, you have to follow this exact procedure. Don't crop your photos or type angry captions on your screenshots. You just submit the raw original evidence through the official online complaint form and let the independent monitoring body handle it.
And all of this ties directly into this strict timeline. Complaints are tightly bound by these really narrow windows. For example, election period complaints can literally only be filed between 7 a.m. on August 20th and 7 p.m. on August 22nd. Miss that window, you could let a massive rule violation slide completely, just because you didn't check the calendar.
All right, bringing it home with Section 6, the final consequences. Look at these escalating penalties. It proves the IEC is definitely not messing around. Sure, it might just start with a written warning or maybe a fine, but if it's serious enough or if it keeps happening, they can order the total removal of a candidate's entire poster campaign. And at the absolute highest level, literally one rogue supporter acting aggressively or trying to bribe a voter can trigger a chain reaction that results in the complete disqualification of a candidate from the electoral process. It could even land that supporter straight in front of the university disciplinary committee.
And I want to circle back to why candidates bear this heavy risk. Even if a candidate is running completely as an individual, if they declare a society affiliation and soak up the benefits of that society's support, well, the collective actions of that entire society fall squarely on the candidate's shoulders. It's a double-edged sword. You get the immense benefit of the society's network, but you pay the ultimate price if that society decides to break the rules. So, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over as you switch into citizen mode for these 2026 SRC elections. Every single poster you hang up, every WhatsApp message you blindly forward, and every heated interaction you have is a direct reflection on the person you're supporting. Are you a strategic asset to your candidate's campaign, or are you actually their biggest liability? Know the manual, play by the rules, and protect your candidate.